All right. All right, let's see what's going on. Under the took out the pre-market lows down there. Looks like it's going for it again. 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, looking pretty bearish here. Rejection off the pivot, and previous support turned into resistance. 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart, pretty bearish 5-minute candle. I have to wait for this 5-minute candle to close to see what happens. And then go off that 5-minute candle. All right, let me quickly check. All right, we got, let me check news. That's what I wanted to check. Let me quickly check if we got any news today. Oh, dang, no news. Absolutely no news today. No news today at all. Awesome. Or bad. One of the two. Either good or bad. We'll see. Hopefully it's not choppy. Hopefully we get some movement. We are getting some good movement right now. So hopefully it stays this way and does not die out. We got a minute left for this 5-minute candle to close. I'm going to go ahead and mark out the high pretty much. I think that high is pretty much set in unless something crazy happens. But we pretty much got that high put in right there. Looks like it wants to go for those lows again, possibly tapping into an imbalance. If you look on the 15-minute chart, we do have an imbalance there. This last imbalance where that pivot point is, so we'll see if this thing holds or it goes for that low. So kind of the last line of defense is this imbalance here. If not, it goes for the low. I think we get some buying pressure step in here. At least some form of buying pressure probably gonna step in here. Right off that pivot too. Oh, there's that closure, so go ahead and mark out that low too. And we may, if we start really, the problem is if we displace, we're probably heading right for that low. If we really do displace. All right. So buyers trying to step in. You get these little wicks down here, but we'll see if they can. Again, 15-minute chart's pretty, I mean, understand why we rejected there. Where that previous level of support broke through, turned into resistance. Now we're going back down. Problem is there was, I mean, liquidity got swept out. If you look on the hourly chart, we did take out that pre-market low. We just swept it, barely swept it, and then ripped to the upside. So looks like it may want to go for those lows again, possibly. We'll see. We're bouncing off that There's those buyers that I told you. There's that last line of defense. If you look on the, was it 5-minute chart? Or was it 15-minute chart? 15-minute chart. That's the last line of defense right there. That last imbalance. So probably get some form of buying pressure stepping in there. But question is, do they hold it? So there was that buying pressure stepping in, and sellers coming back in and trying to take over. We do have room. I mean, 43.20 is that low, pretty much, that got put in. So 40, where is it? 43. Where is it? 43.10. Oh, there it is. 43.20. So we do have room if we really start to displace to 43.20 possibly for that low. Honestly, this may not be a bad short opportunity either up here, kind of in this imbalance area. We got view up there too, as you know, I wouldn't be against possibly trying a small position size short. Here, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, sorry. Looks like we want to go. Ooh, man, tough. I would like this thing to come up and kind of tap right into this imbalance here. Would give me, a decent opportunity for those possible lows again. That's a pretty big imbalance. So, I would assume sellers would start to try to step in there. Gosh, hold on. Dang it. Alright, my bad. Hey, I keep having Alright. Ooh, it's tough, man. Man, I'd be interested, at least in some form of a... Come on. I really want to go for those highs again. Ugh. I don't know. We'll see. Going with the trend, so willing to possibly take a stab at this. We are 9:43, no news. All right, let's see. My stop would have to be there, but thing is, sellers could try to step in off this big imbalance here, at least for the lows again. We are on a downtrend. We are below view up. Everything is kind of lining up. Below view up, big imbalance there. We are bouncing off a bullish imbalance though on a 15-minute. But I think we could just go in with the trend, at least tap into that support one more time. Possibly sweep out the low one more time before going up. It's only 9:45, so we do have buyers trying to step in here, but we do have a lot of resistance for that. I mean, it's got to push through the 200, push through this imbalance. We have another imbalance, then we have the view up there, so there is a lot of what we'll see. It's me speaking, this thing is trying to rip. No way this thing really pushes through 200, pushes through view up. Right, no way. Crap. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's see this big red candle. Same old shit later. It's always the same old shit. Always the same old shit. Welcome to the market. There it goes. There it goes. There's the red candle. Woo! There it goes. There she is. Come on, keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Oh, no. No, not the bounce. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Sellers are coming in hot. Coming in hot. As we get to a support, these buyers trying to step in. But I think we could go for these lows. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Getting pretty volatile. I like it. I like it. This ain't a boring market today. That's for sure. Getting some action here. Come on. We got those lows. 948. We got room to the downside still. Before we get that initial push. We ain't asking for too much. We ain't asking for a lot. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Caught that huge red candle, market open, easiest money in my life, done for the nice. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy. I personally, I like to wait at least 5 minutes before I think about taking any trade. But yeah, if you caught that, that was a nice short. I mean, right off of VWAP too. It rejected off of VWAP pretty perfectly. Not exactly, but almost on the money. So that VWAP, man, I'm telling you. There, come on. Little bit lower. Little bit lower. Little bit lower. We got that pivot point there too. So just for the body, I'm just targeting the body candle lows. Because that pivot there, just a tap. Because this thing can rip after this tap right here. Alright, there's the tap. Crap. Not quite filled. There's the fill. Alright. Boom! And now this thing can rip. Make sure copy trader is all flattened out. I'm going to eat some pancakes. Oh my gosh. Requested 23K. Nice. Congratulations. What a great way to enter your weekend after a 23K request for a payout. Well, this is a good day so far in the market. This is what I like. This kind of volatility. This is what I like. Not the past freaking... We had this like chop sideways where it just was not moving. This is what I like. We got these drops. We got these rips. We got the drops back down. This is what I freaking live for right here. This kind of price action. Going with the trend. What else can you ask for a Friday? The market makers have delivered. I could have still held it for the lows, but again, I don't want to get greedy. Last thing you want to do in this type of market is get greedy. It's happened to me before where I'm like, let me hold it for lower, and then this thing sweeps this low and then rips to the upside. So take what makes sense and walk away. Enjoy your weekend. But that was, doesn't look like a lot, but you know, that's what, 128 bucks across 7 accounts. So it's pretty good. Now, I mean, it still has not taken out. It's hit the body candle lows of the 15-minute. So now we're entering the territory. We're coming up on that 10 a.m. mark. So we could sweep these lows possibly and start ripping to the upside. Maybe it takes out the low one more time. So either it takes out the low and starts ripping to the upside, or we start displacing below that low. If we displace below this low, right now that low becomes resistance. So we'll see what happens here. They're pretty aggressive to going for that low. Taking out all this liquidity down here. I bet you a lot of people got chopped up to the upside because they're looking at this, right? Look, if you look at the hourly chart, this is why I say it's very important to go with the trend. Because you could look at this and look at this low right here. I guarantee you this is what some people did today. They saw this low right here. They saw that low got swept by this candle right there, right? See that sweep? Barely swept. But it swept it and then pretty much V-shaped out of it. So V-shaped recovery out of it. And people are thinking, all right, we swept that low. We're probably going to go for maybe pre-market highs up there, or maybe even these highs. But the problem is, if you look on higher time frames, we're pretty bearish, right? First of all, we're really bearish on an hourly chart. Then you drop down to a 15-minute chart. Oh, wow. Big resistance up here. We got pivot point. We got previous support turned into new resistance. We got a couple imbalances there. So very possible rejection area. Makes sense why price rejected there. We also got view up there. You can't see it on this chart, but view up is there too. So very important. That's why I drew out the first 5 minute and kind of, you know, was going off of that. We were in the 5 minute range, but took out that high, started to go lower, and pretty much tapping into this massive imbalance there. My stop protected by VWAP, protected by the 200. So, and look at the 5 minute chart. Look at the rejection off the 200 on the 5 minute chart, like to a T. So you have to look at different time frames. Now we're starting to kind of displace. Now this thing can continue lower. It's not, oh, wait. We haven't taken out the lows. Never mind. That's just a 1 minute chart. We have not taken out the lows on a higher time frame. Just tapping into the body candle lows of that hourly, but nothing more than that. So, see when that 10 a.m. hits. See, you get that displacement. You get that displacement. You get that correction into that imbalance, and then look at that lower. This is what I look for. But when I take one good trade, I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm so much more hesitant to take another like trade lower, meaning that I went short for these lows. So I took profits down there. So it's like, do I take another short? It's kind of iffy, you know. But that was another good short opportunity. Right? We were looking at that lows. You got that displacement right there. All these candles show that we're displacing. So when we get that correction, barely tapped into that imbalance, seller stepping back in, and But the risk to reward is not the best. You could target the lows down there, I guess, but your stop would have to be above this kind of like imbalance candle here. Ugh. Looks like we're going for those lows. All right, it's coming on the 10 a.m. mark. Sorry if I missed some of your questions. Oh, what app it? My bad. This Ninja Trader. Somebody already answered it. Appreciate the follows. Thank you. Now we just swept the lows, so now it's a toss-up. The question is, if we swept these lows again, now do we get a V shape out of it, or do we start displacing even lower? Which, to be honest, it's tough because it's a Friday. So Friday, you got the Iran crap going on. So do we get enough buying pressure? Do you think institutions are really gonna be buying crazy heavy size? I don't know. Looking at it personally, if I was in an institution with hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't think I would want to be in a position during the weekend. Because you got to think about it this way. When we get bad news, usually comes out during the weekend. Why? They don't really want to affect the market in a, spook the market. Think it in terms of, hypothetically saying if there was bad news coming out. Like, if the president wanted to announce some bad news, right? Typically, depending on the news, if he can, he would wait till weekend to announce it, because you don't want to shock the market. When you have really bad news, you tend to shock the market, and then you get a bunch of crap going on, right? But when you release bad news during the weekend, doesn't really shock the market because the market's closed. So think it in that term. So would somebody want to hold unless it's an investment and they're just long term, but would somebody really be wanting to buy crazy size right on a Friday into a weekend where, wars and all this crap? You would sell here, right? Just making sure what I was told is correct. This is not financial advice, but I'm just explaining that this is something I look for. This break and retest. The reason I didn't take this second one was because I already took this first short. And I already took profits at the low, so I would not just, But yeah, this break and retest is what I look for. When we have a low and we displace below that, the key to it is you need a displacement. So this big red candle shows a lot of volume stepping in right there, breaking that low. And then, buying pressure does not step in immediately. So you get a couple red candles confirming that displacement. Now you get this big imbalance that was left behind. You get this old support level turned into new resistance. Now price comes back up and it just ever so slightly taps into that imbalance with that resistance, and then sellers step right back in. So that's the kind of short I look for. The first trade I took was not a break and retest, but it just looked good for... It looked good for considering we got 200 right there. We're below the 200, right? We're in this 5-minute range. We got the view up here. We got a pivot point up there. We got a lot holding price down. So I figured price is on a higher time frame downtrend. So I think the downtrend's going to continue. We're just rebalancing into a, bearish imbalance, and we just tapped into it and went lower. So that was my mindset. But the typical strategy I look for is the break and retest. This just looked too good not to take. I was willing to take it. But if this wouldn't have happened, I would have for sure took the second one. So, but yeah, this is not financial advice. Do not copy me or you will get wrecked. I don't have winning trades all the time. I do lose. So please do not copy me because you will lose. And sometimes I don't always, like, I have a mental stop. I have a mental stop that I know exactly where I'm going to stop out. I don't always put a hard stop loss in. So if you copy me, you have no idea where my stop loss is. So you're going to get wrecked. Sometimes I put it in. Sometimes it's just a mental one where if price is coming close to that area, I'll put it in. But bunch of liquidity on top. Do you have Bookmap or are you just looking at the what is it called? The DOM. Yeah, this is futures. What tips can you give? Just started trading and I want to learn how to do it. Just biggest tip I can give you is become obsessed with it. Become obsessed with learning and understand. Do not have the wrong expectation. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Don't look at social media and a bunch of these traders, you know, driving Lambos and Ferraris. A bunch of them are course sellers. I'm not saying all of them don't know how to trade, but a lot of them are just course sellers. They're making money from selling courses. So first of all, do not buy a course. Become obsessed with trading. Become obsessed with learning about it. Understand that this is not something that you're just gonna, you know, don't fall for the trap of I could teach you how to trade in a month, you know. You're not gonna learn how to trade in a month. You're probably not even gonna learn how to trade in a year. So this is something that takes years to learn, right? Because you may learn the fundamentals pretty quickly, depending on how obsessed you are with it. But the problem is you have not gone through every market cycle, right? To really know that you're like, you know how to trade. Like this kind of price action is somewhat volatile, but still this is not compared to what like the times we had when tariff news came out. Like, because you could be a good trader, right? You could be a good trader who's disciplined in this kind of market cycle. You're taking win after win after win. But then let's say something like tariff news came out and then price goes insane. I mean, it's crazy volatile. Like think of FOMC every single day. That kind of time, just somebody that doesn't know how to trade, he can make money or she can make money for a whole month somehow. But then one type of market shift like that and absolutely obliterates their whole account because they don't know how to trade that kind of market condition. They don't know how to size down. They don't know how to, when they're in a losing streak, to size down. So sizing down with volatility too. So biggest thing I would tell you is don't have wrong expectations. Like, don't think that this is a get rich quick scheme. Just become obsessed with it. Become obsessed with learning about it. Watch the market. See how it reacts to certain levels. See what it does when it breaks structure. Does it retest it and go lower? Does it do this? How it reacts to view op. How it reacts to, you know, highs and lows and all this. Like, take note of what it does. And biggest advice that I think can really help you is go with the trend. My general rule of thumb is you don't see view up on this chart, but I do have view up pulled up on another chart, VWAP. It's an indicator that everyone uses, and go with the trend. Generally speaking, when we're below view up, we are bearish. When we're above view up, we're bullish. So you do not want to go against the trend. Going against the trend is, some people may have a strategy where they're good at it, but generally speaking, it's not a good idea to go against the trend. Those are the type of people going against the trend, and then they say the market's rigged because they end up trying to long on a downtrend, and then price keeps going lower, going with the trend, and they get stopped out. Like, it's just, so. When did you start trading, and is it too late for me to start? It's never too late to start trading. I mean, it's never too late. I've been learning about trading for a super long time, but actually taking it seriously I've been doing it for 3 years consistently, taking it seriously, like learning, trying to like not treating it like a casino, but actually trying to learn and trying to grasp of. But I was learning about trading. This is how it goes. This is why I say becoming obsessed. I was learning about trading before prop firms. Before I even thought of like, back when trading was like, if you were like the trading term today is kind of a washed out term because there's so much scammers in the industry that when you say day trader, people automatically think of scammer. Back in the day when like, I say back in the day like I'm super old. I'm not. I just started to learn trading when I was young. So, you know, there was no prop firms. There was no any of this. And when somebody was a trader, like that was like, wow, you're a trader? That's pretty impressive. Today, it's like everyone says they're a trader, but very few people are actually traders. So it's just a term that gets thrown around that's like almost like nobody wants to even say. Even the real traders don't even want to say they're traders because you get a bunch of these like scammers that say they're traders, but they're really not. So, but where was I going with this? But yeah, I've been learning about it for so long. I just was obsessed with it. Like, I like to learn. I like the idea that you could learn a skill where I could sit on a computer and with my knowledge, I can take a position and I can make like today, $128 across 7 accounts. So the fact that you can build a skill where you can make $1,000 in a matter of 5 minutes or a matter of an hour and a half of trading, just sitting and waiting, like I love that. And I love the fact that it's hard, that it's super difficult, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it and you would have everybody millionaires. But the rewarding thing is this is not an easy thing. And it's even more satisfying knowing that this is a very difficult thing to do. And when you master something, and there's no really mastering in trading, but when you kind of like master it to a degree, I mean, it feels good. Is trading covering your bills? Not for me right now, not really, because I saw my main source of it. I trade for fun, right? My main source of income is cars. I buy and sell cars. That's my main source of income, right? Trading is something I love to do. I don't need to pay bills with trading. I don't like that, and that's the beautiful part is I can make like if I don't make money a month, like if I don't make money this month, I don't make money next month, it's fine. I'm still trading. It's not something I have to do. So it puts this like you don't have this pressure. I don't think trading should ever really be your main source of income because it's putting unnecessary pressure on your mind. When you have other sources of income and you don't need to make money trading, it relieves the stress and you think more clearly. You know, if you're in a loss, you just get out because you don't need to make money. So you're just accepting the loss. But when you need to make money in trading, you're sitting there holding a loss because you're like, I need this thing to go up to make money. I need this thing to go up. That's a really bad spot to be in. So what are you looking for an entry? I already took an entry. I literally shorted this right here. Right here. This rejection off the 200, I literally went short at the beginning of this imbalance. So I went short at like the 460s right here. And then so there was another short opportunity here. This break and retest right there of that imbalance to go lower. But I didn't take the second short, but just because I just had covered the first short. So I don't want to cover a short and then immediately get back into another short. So, but if I wouldn't have taken this first short, the second short I would have definitely taken. Do you think school helped you? Here's the thing about school. The funny thing is, I was one class away from getting my bachelor's degree. And I ended up dropping out. So, did school help me? Not really. For me personally, right? Not really. But to somebody who wants to be like a lawyer or a doctor, I think school is necessary if you want to be like a, lawyer, doctor, engineer. But if you're going to school for something like, that really you don't need schooling, it's just a waste of money. Especially today. Back in the day, school was something that was more like you needed a degree, And I'm not saying don't go to school. This is all school is necessary for certain people and not necessary for other people. So it all depends on what you want to do. But, for me, it wasn't really necessary. And I'm somebody, I like to work with my hands. I don't like sitting in an office. I don't like, doing nothing. I work on cars, so I like to do stuff physically. Like, I like to do stuff physically. I like to have a busy day, going there, doing that, doing this, doing that. Always new problems. And when you have a job where you're a problem solver, where you're constantly solving problems, it's honestly stressful but fun at the same time because it never gets boring. But it does get annoying at sometimes when you can't figure something out. Or I'm using Ninja Trader. You need to study though. Yeah, I mean, school is necessary to a degree. Like, obviously, high school is necessary. Like, don't drop out of high school. Or I'm talking, when I say school, I'm talking about college. Like, going to college. Because so many people go to college for some, like, stupid degree that they never even use. So you just end up spending a bunch of money on something you never even use. I would say most people don't even do what they graduate for. Unless you're an engineer or a doctor or something like that, lawyer. But a level foreman wanted to take care of my family. Well, you're not gonna take care of your family with school. I mean, the biggest like tip I would give is one thing, and this is like, do not go for something just because of the money. Like, please, whether it's a doctor or a lawyer or engineer, like, don't go for it just because you can make a lot of money with it. Like, people do that, and then they finally get into the profession, and they're like, crap, I hate this. Well, no shit, you hate this. You're doing it for the money. You don't actually like to do that. You're just doing it for the money. So when you finally get into it, the money comes, but you hate your job. And I don't care how much you pay me. I don't care if you pay me $500,000, $1 million a year. But if you give me a job where I hate to get up in the morning, I don't care how much money you pay me. I would rather make $100,000 a year doing something I love than to make $1 million a year doing something I hate. That may be a controversial take, but enjoying life is more important than just about money. So, and plus, when you love to do something, you can become an expert at it and potentially make a lot of money with it, right? That's the key to, when you hear of really successful people, you look at Elon Musk, you look at all these successful people and you ask them, right? Like, they truly love what they do. Like, look at Elon. Elon is a perfect example, right? This dude is worth like $500 billion. This dude can buy an island and retire on an island and never do anything for the rest of his life. But guess what? He continues to build businesses. He continues to do all this. Why? Because it's fun for him, right? SpaceX, it's fun for him. He likes to do it. It's not about the money anymore. He has all the money he needs. It's not about the money. It's the enjoyment of accomplishing certain things. So when you pick something you love to do, you can become an expert at it, because you can work, 8-10 hours at this thing, and at the end of the day, you come home and you feel satisfied, right? You feel satisfied from what you did because you know you're working toward your goal. Trading has changed my perspective on money. Absolutely. Trading will change your perspective on money. And this is exactly why, that's a good point. This is exactly why when I do cars is my it grounds me, in a sense of what I mean by that is cars grounds me, because when I do an actual job like fixing a car, like the amount of work I have to put into something to make $1,500 profit, let's say I make $1,500 profit on a car, like the work I have to put in to make $1,500 versus when I'm trading now, I understand that money does not come easily. Like, you have to work for your money. So when I can sit on a computer and I can take a trade, and if I can make $1,000 trade, guess what? I am understanding that that's not a little bit amount, like that $1,000 is not a little money. Like, the fact that I was able to do that in a matter of less than an hour, I'm not somebody who looks at somebody else making $50,000 a day and go, whoa, I only made $200 today. No, I understand that even making $200 is very good in trading. So cars grounds me to a point where I understand the perspective of money, that I'm not comparing myself to somebody who's making $50,000 days. I'm understanding that, you know, a lot of people work hard for $1,000 or $200, even $200 right now. If you were to post a $200 win on like social media, everybody would be like, oh, he's bragging about $200. But for some reason, making $200 in a matter of 10 minutes is not a lot of money. But somebody's gonna work 8 hours for $200, but for 10 minutes, that's not a lot of money in trading. You see like the irony of it? The same people that say it's not a lot of money are the same people working all day for $200. So it is a lot of money. So please, like, one thing, don't look at this social media space and then get like, have this false perspective of you have these people flashing $30,000 days and $50,000 days, and then when you make only $200 on a trade, you feel like it's not an accomplishment. But in reality, it is an accomplishment. It's not about how much you make, it's about making what you make consistently. Somebody who makes $50 a day from trading, right? But he does that consistently, is better than the person who makes $1,000 a day but can't do that consistently. He makes $1,000, then he loses 3,000. Then he makes 1,000 and he loses 4,000. Like, see, he's not consistent. But the person who can consistently make $50 is a far better trader than that person making $1,000 a day or $10,000 a day. Because the thing is, here's the thing, and if you're starting to trade, if you can make $50, like if you take $50 trades and at the end of the month you can come in positive, and then the second month you can come in positive, and you're green, you know how to manage. If you can do that with $50, imagine what you could do when you have real money and you have actually like, you should be able to do that with, you know, $2,000, $3,000 position sizes. But that takes time. That's not something you get to in like a matter of a year. It takes, you know, the people that get to that level have been trading for 6, 7, 8 years. And that's just the problem with social media. It gives you such a false perspective that it sucks. It sucks that we have so many scammers in the industry. I'm one of the few people that does not have a course. I don't have anything to sell you. Absolutely zero. There is nothing you can buy from me. I come on and I trade live, right? To share some of the stuff that I've learned over the years for free. And if I can help anybody in any way and, you know, keep you from making a stupid mistake, then that's already a win. And I find it fun too. So, and even me, like, I don't even feel like I'm qualified to even if I wanted to start a course, I don't even feel like I'm qualified to. And I've been doing this for 3 years and I don't feel like I'm qualified. But you have people that haven't even been trading for a year or barely have been trading for a year and they're starting a course and a Discord and this and that. Like, oh man. How'd you get into trading? You know who actually got me into trading? The OGs will know who this is. But he actually still makes content on YouTube, but his content now is like it's not really like as like trading how it used to be. The OG social media trading influencer, for me at least, and this is back, is if you know who Ricky Gutierrez is, or Gutierrez. Ricky Gutierrez. If you know who that is, he's the one who got me into trading. I remember watching him back in the day when he was like in college and he was like hitting like $200 days. I remember watching him make $200 in a day, and I was like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is so crazy, dude. The dude made $200 in like 5 minutes. Bro, what is this? And I like, started to kind of get intrigued by it, and he's the one who kind of got me into it. And I was working a warehouse job, and I was still like, I remember times where like some of the tickers I was trading don't even exist today. Like, they don't even exist anymore. I remember taking a position size, and this is when I wasn't like learning how to trade. I was just intrigued by it. I would just buy something randomly, not look at price action, not look at market structure, not look at anything. I would literally buy something because it was like low, and I was like, oh, let me buy this. And I would buy something, and I would just hope it goes up. And then when it goes up, I would cash out, and I would make like $30, and I'd be like, dude, I just made $30. That's wild. But yeah, I would like put my phone in my locker, and I would like go to my locker every like 5 minutes to check on my trade. But yeah, he's the one who actually got me into trading. And that was back in the day where I didn't even think of trading could really be something you do like as an income. That was like unheard of. He was like one of the only people that was doing it back before prop firms. Now we're like super blessed, because back in the day, you wanted to trade, either you traded a simulated account with just sim, or you had to fund your account with thousands of dollars to actually trade. Now you have prop firms where you can invest $100, and if you built the skill of trading, you can take that $100 and turn it into thousands of dollars. So that's the wild part of the times we live in today. Like, honestly, like, we're living in blessed times right now. The fact that we could do this is absolutely insane. It's a double-edged sword. It's like, because it's so easy to get into now, it opens the door for the scammers to try to pop in. The people who want quick money, it's very easy to trade live like this, have a Discord, and charge $30 a month for your Discord. And if you get, a couple hundred people to sign up for your Discord to watch you trade every single day, you're cashing out. You may not even know how to trade, but you're cashing out. And for some reason, people are so quick to like, I don't understand why, but people are so quick to give their money away. Like, I gotta join someone's Discord. I gotta buy someone's course. Like, why do you have to do that? Why? If you can't be obsessed enough with trading to watch the free content and learn on your own, the question is, should you be trading at all? Because if you're not obsessed to learn it on your own, that's the thing. I don't think if you're obsessed to learn it on your own, I don't think you should be trading. If you're not that obsessed, like if you're someone who wants to buy a course because you want to learn this faster, it's not how it works. And the person's strategy may not even work for you. He may even have a good strategy that works for him, but it may not work for you. There are plenty of strategies out there that work that I don't know how to trade. I wouldn't be able to be profitable with that strategy. Now we're starting to just chop sideways. They don't trust in themselves. Yeah, and those are the people that never learn. They're the people that join someone's Discord just to copy them. And if you're someone who just watches someone's live stream just to copy their trades, or you're never gonna learn. Like you don't know why someone's getting into the trade. You're just copying them. You're never gonna learn. So if you're never gonna learn, like, you're just gambling. At that point, is it worth to even trade for you? I mean, if you want to just gamble, then by all means, but yeah, it's wild. It's like, I even see this in the car industry. I remember, I've had cars where I've posted for a high price, like not high price, but a higher price, and I was getting a lot of messages. And if I start lowering the price to try to sell it faster, I get less messages, me lowering the price. And I'm just like, so let me get this straight. I posted something for a higher price, and I started to get a decent amount of messages. And then I posted a little lower just to try to sell it even faster, and I get less messages at a cheaper price. It's like people just want to spend money. People just want to throw away their money. I don't understand it, but it's a wild concept. Yeah, market is choppy. I mean, we're at a point right now where, you know, does this thing go lower? It's just a battle of sellers. We're at a point where we could bounce, so sellers aren't as aggressive anymore, and buyers aren't as aggressive anymore either, because we've displaced below a low. So it's a weird area of nobody wants to make the first move. And you get these areas where buyers and sellers don't want to make the first move. So it's like you get this choppiness where unless someone actually steps in, and then you get volume into the market. I got 258 left on drawdown. Am I full porting? To be honest, listen. This depends. Are you in a evaluation account, or are you in a funded account? That does matter. Believe it or not, I've gotten myself out of $20 drawdown. I had 20. So this is my second set of accounts I've ever had. My first set of accounts I blew a long time ago. This was like a while ago. I had those accounts. These set of accounts I've had for a long time too. But my first set of accounts that I've had that I blew, I remember I got out of $20 of I was about to blow my accounts $20 away, and I took the perfect trade, and I got out of that drawdown. What I'm saying is, this is why I ask, is this an evaluation account or funded account? Because if it's an evaluation, then it's like, you know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But if it's a funded account, you can get yourself out of $250 of drawdown. You have to size accordingly, right? You can't take a trade risking $200. You would have to take a trade, you know, maybe a $50 trade, $40 trade, catch a couple base hits. Maybe you make $50, you make another $50. Now you got, you know, $350 in drawdown. And then you take another cut, and you can kind of work your way out. And as you work your way out, you could start sizing back up. And you can work your way out of that drawdown. Now, is it worth it for you? That's a thing you got to ask yourself, you know. Like when I have 7 accounts, like if you have a bunch of accounts, it's worth getting yourself out of that drawdown. But if you have like one account, you know, it's no big deal. But if you have a bunch of accounts, then it's something I'm like, if I was in that position, I would want to dig myself out of that drawdown and not just blow the accounts. They think the more expensive, something better. Yeah, it's wild. I see this all the time in the car industry. People think just because it costs more, and it's not like I'm pricing something that's like, I'm pricing all the stuff I price is good deals. I don't price anything outrageous price. My average time to sell a car is about 2 weeks. So that should tell you I'm pricing things very competitively. So it's wild how somebody, and this is why stores do this, right? It's like people almost like, they have this mindset, yeah, if they pay more money, it's automatically a better thing. And this may even fall into the trading space. Maybe if somebody wants to buy a course super badly and they're paying $4,000 for a course, they think because they're paying $4,000 for something that they're getting something like out of this world. Like, this guy must have the secret sauce, to sell a $4,000 course. Like, it's wild to me that somebody would literally spend $4,000 on a trading course. That is freaking insane to me. Like, what are you doing? Do you just want to give your money away? Because if you just want to give your money away, I will happily take your money. If you just want to if you have too much money, you have thousands of dollars, you don't know what to do with it, and you're just giving it to some person on social media because you think he's gonna magically teach you how to trade. I mean, there's a lot of people that will take your money. That would go probably to a way better cause. Should I just paper trade until that's the ideal thing. But so many people don't want to do that. That's the ideal thing. The ideal process to learn how to trade is to paper trade. Just shift your mindset. Because people, when they paper trade, they think it's like, oh, it's paper trading, it's not real money, so it's not fun. Shift your mindset. Because when you shift your mindset and you shift it to a point of, it's not about making money, especially when you're learning. It's not about making money. It's about learning. So when you shift your mindset and let's just say you're paper trading, and let's say you're taking like $200 position sizes on a paper trading account. If you can consistently learn and you can, with a paper trading account, you can month after month, you can be in the green. Well, now you can be like, all right, if I can make this with $200, and I can consistently do that, right? What's stopping you from making $2,000 trades, $4,000 trades? It's just a capital problem at that point. So you can build up that, it's the skill thing. So if you can make $50 a day, eventually you can get to a level where you're making $5,000 a day. So yeah, ideal paper trading would be the best way to go. So you don't spend any money because you're going to lose money. Especially when you're learning. You make mistakes. You learn from your mistakes that you make, hopefully. And, you're going to lose money. So ideally, you want to be in a paper trading account so you lose fake money and not real money. Started learning in October and got my funded accounts like 2 weeks ago. I already got a payout. Nice. Exactly. Consistency. These small base hits, even small base hits add up over time. Be consistent. Manage your risk. If you're losing, take a loss. Take your profits. Have a plan. And if you keep doing this, right? You take one payout, you take another payout, and you keep taking payouts, and eventually you can go to a live account. You can build up your live account, and who knows? Maybe 7 years down the road, you can be the person making $5,000-$10,000 days. You never know. So the upside potential with trading is absolutely insane. But it's the learning. Be consistent. Have rules for yourself. Take a loss. When you're in a losing trade, do not cancel your stop loss. Always have rules. Always understand, size down, size up when needed to, right? When you're in a losing streak, there's so many things. Learn from your mistakes. And yeah, you will get better and better. You never stop learning in trading. That's the thing. It's I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm still learning to this day. I'm still learning about trading. I'm still trying to, what I do wrong. I'm paying attention. If I do take a loss, did I do something wrong? Should I have done something different? I started with paper. Nice. Yeah, you did it the right way. Most people do not do it the right way. They end up losing thousands of dollars before they go, all right, let me go to paper. Because the process of a trader, you're right, you go from typically losing money to being break even to making money. So your goal as a beginner is to at least try to break even. And you can break even with proper risk management. You can take stupid trades. I can right now take a random trade with proper risk management over a month time I will probably be a break-even trader. I should be a break-even trader taking random trades with proper risk management. Just the risk management aspect of trading should make you at least a break-even trader. Nothing else. Ugh! But, alright, what time is it? Alright, it's about 10:30. Do you agree with people saying trading is all psychology? Not all psychology, but I would go as far as to say like 80%. I would go as far as to say 80% of trading is psychology. Because you do need, listen, you do need technical analysis skills to really make yourself profitable. Like, that is important. But just like I said, you could be a break-even trader just by proper risk management. So that's already half the battle. That's 50% of the battle right there is just risk management, right? So then you have the psychology aspect to have the proper risk management. So, and then, you know, the actual like technique of trading, there is technique to it. Because if you don't understand market structure, if you don't understand this, then you're at best you're just going to be a break-even trader at best. But yeah, psychology aspect, that's the hardest part about trading is because it's very, like, for example, right? When you take winning trades, if you're taking a winning trade after a winning trade, like when you're in a winning streak, it's very easy to just step away from the computer. But when you're in a losing streak, when you're just taking a loss after a loss after a loss, and that day will come when you're going to take a loss and another loss and another loss, and you're just going to feel like you're going to have the itch to overtrade. Like when you take a loss, you're going to have the itch to take another trade to try to make it back, you're going to be looking for some trade that's not even there. And like being disciplined to have rules for yourself and say, no, like I'm stepping away from the computer. If I take 2 losses in a row, I step away. If I take, like have these rules for yourself, be disciplined. There is a degree of that kind of psychology. To be patient. There's another degree of psychology. Being patient with the trade. Like allowing the trade to come to you instead of chasing the trade. Allowing it to come to you and really formulate in a way that you can take a step back. And that's why you see me be patient, right? It's not the most entertaining thing in trading to be patient. Because everybody on the other end, right, that's watching, they want to see me take trades left and right, and that's more entertaining. But the reality of trading is you have to be patient. You have to wait for the setup. You have to wait for price to do a certain thing. Then you have to wait for price to come to you to get your proper entry for your proper risk management so that you can take a good trade. And that it's very difficult. And it's true. This is why you want to be disciplined in your everyday life. Going to the gym. Simple tasks. Like, it sounds so stupid, but like, making your bed, cleaning up after yourself, making sure your car is clean. Like, these little simple tasks, like, do shift over into your trading. Because if you're disciplined in everyday life, then that will spill over into your trading. You could be disciplined and sit here and wait for a trade. But if you're sloppy, if you're somebody who's not disciplined in your everyday life, you're just kind of, you go here, you go there, you do what you want, there's no discipline in your life, then guess what? You're not going to be disciplined in your trading. What makes you think, if you're not disciplined in everyday life, what makes you think you're going to be disciplined in a field where it's like one of the hardest fields to master, the trading space? So, and this is why firms, you look at hedge funds. When you have a real-time trader on a real trading floor in a hedge fund, guess what you have? You have risk managers, right? You have a person that if you start to go out of hand, if your psychology starts to go in whack and you start to go on tilt, guess what? That risk manager will come to you and tell you to stop, like to control yourself, to stop, to walk away, he may even send you home for the day. But when you trade for yourself, you don't have that person that's going to walk into the door and get on your case, start chewing you out for what you're doing. And like, what are you doing? So You need that discipline. You need to be your own risk manager. That's why you need rules for yourself. It's very difficult. It's hard. Everybody spits out the term like psychology like it's easy, but it's one of the hardest things to grasp because you are your own worst enemy in trading, which is like a wild thing because any other business, you need customers, you need this, that, but in trading, you are your own worst enemy. You could be your best friend. You could be the person that helps yourself the most, or you could be your own worst enemy. It's one or the other. So that's why you need to discipline yourself so that when the time comes, you could be disciplined in trading. Only competition is yourself. Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of why I like it, right? I sell cars. I need customers. Trading is a space where I don't have to rely on anybody. Nobody. If I lose money, it's on me. There's nobody to blame. I'm my own worst enemy in trading. If I go on tilt and I take a bad trade after a bad trade and I lose a lot of money, guess whose fault it is? It's my fault. Nobody else's fault. Nobody to blame but myself. I've been through highs. I've been through highs in trading and I've been through the lowest lows in trading. So I've been through it all. I've been through everything you could possibly go through in trading. And like, for me, I learned from my mistakes. I've made mistakes that I've never made ever again. Like a simple mistake when I was learning, canceling my stop loss and just saying, oh, it's gonna go up eventually. No. Sometimes it does go up and you make money, but guess what? That one time it does not go up and the market keeps dumping and you blow your whole account because you weren't disciplined. Guess what? I've done that. I've blown a live account before. When I was learning, back before prop firms. Guess what I never did ever again in my entire life is cancel my stop loss. When I have a stop loss, that crap sits there and it doesn't move. Sometimes I'll move it a little bit, like, adjust it, but I never cancel it. That loss, if I take a loss on a trade, I take a loss. I take it on the chin and I walk away because I understand that there's always tomorrow, right? I can make back that money. It's no big deal. But what I can't do is if I blow my account, then I'm in a spot where but yeah, if you're looking to learn how to trade, I mean, like I said, like there's no other advice that I can give except become obsessed with it. I mean, that's all it is. And become obsessed with it. And don't expect to learn it very fast. Expect this to be a process of 2-3 year process. Just expect that because I don't want you to have the wrong expectations. This is just like any other thing. Like people go to college for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, to get into a job, to make $25 an hour. But when it comes to trading, people expect to make hundreds of dollars a day in a matter of like a couple months or only a year of learning. Did you ever have a over trading problem? Yes, I did. Especially when I was when I was learning. Absolutely, I had an over trading problem, and it went back to my psychology. I would take a trade. I wouldn't really have like strict rules, so I would take a trade. I would take a loss on the trade. Then I would be pissed off because I took a loss. And then I would see something that's not even there. It starts kind of V-shaping out of a certain area, and I'm like, all right, let me buy this. It's like buyers are stepping in. Let me buy this. I buy this, and it dumps back down, and it stops me out. And then I get even more pissed and I take another trade and it's just like, it's a spiral that never stops. Now for myself, maximum most of the days, I take about one trade in a day. Because if I can find one good setup in the morning session and I can take it and I can make my money and walk away and be consistent with that, I would rather do that than take a bunch of trades, right? So maximum, and this is the rules for myself, and this is why I say to make rules for yourself. 2 trades, right? These are my rules. So if my first trade is a winning trade, a lot of the times I don't take a second trade. If my first trade is a losing trade, and I do see, and I'm patient, and I do see another setup, and I take another trade, and I decide to take another trade, and that second trade is a loss, I will never take a third trade. Absolutely never. 2 losing trades in a row, and I'm out. That's done for the day. I'm locked out. I close my computer, and I walk away. It's impossible for me. Like, I'm serious. This is a hard rule for myself that I would never break. No more than 2 losers in a row. Now, if my first trade is a winning trade, and my second trade is a winning trade, and I happen to see a third trade, then, because I already took 2 winning trades in a row, I'm willing to risk the money on one trade, so it's not a big deal if I take a loss. So that's kind of how, but for sure, no more than 3 trades a day. I very rarely even get to 3 trades in a morning session. The price action has to be like insane for that to happen. 90% of the time, it's 1 trade and I'm done. Sometimes 2 trades, but listen, I'm here for consistency. I'm not here to just take a million trades and, I'm patient for a good setup. And if I find it and I make money on it, guess what? If anything, I need to possibly learn how to be more like for example, in this morning session, right? Right? Got one good setup, took a short, and then this second setup, right, was a good setup, but I was reluctant to take it because I just had taken a good setup on this short. So getting into another short, like, if anything, it was still like some would say, listen, it's still a good trade. Take the second trade. If it's a good trade and you like it, just take it. So if anything, I need to discipline myself to not be so like scared to take the second trade if it's there. I'm just like more like, if I got money locked in for the day, I'm more hesitant to take another trade because especially it's a Friday, right? And the other thing is it's a Friday. I want to go on a Friday on a good note. If I take an amazing trade, I want to go into the weekend knowing I'm like, man, I did have a good week this weekend. I didn't even go live every single day, but I think I went only 2 days live this week. I'm going to start going live more often. I just been going to bed super late and it's just been, but every single time I've took a trade this week on live, I've made money every single day. So it's like, it's been a good week. So I don't want to ruin that. I want to go into the weekend on a good note too. Should you get a job while you learn or just lock in on trading? No. You should absolutely have a job. Have a job because this goes back to the psychology part in trading, right? You can have a job and still be locked in on trading. You can have a job, you work 8 hours a day and then you're obsessed with trading. So when you come home, you're learning about trading. You're not watching Netflix for 4 hours. You could learn how to trade. So you should absolutely have a job because even when you're a good trader, you should still have something else because trading puts an unnecessary pressure. Like if you only rely on trading for income, it puts you in a really bad mental space because now you're relying on trading to make money. So you will force things that aren't there because you feel like you need to make money. But when you're trading and you don't need to make money in trading, you're patient. Listen, if there's no trade today, I don't take a trade today. If there's no trade tomorrow, I don't take a trade tomorrow. And you're just more patient. You don't need to take a trade. You don't need to make money. So you're in a more clear, better mental space. But I think you should always have a job. Whether you have a job you work for someone else or you have a job you work for yourself. Unless like maybe if you get to a point where you've got like hundreds of thousands of dollars saved up and and you're trading and you know how to trade then maybe you could make trading just your, but I don't even think you'd want to do it. That's the thing. It's like, you want to have stuff in life that you do something else. Trading is like, I trade for an hour and a half a day. So why would I make that my only like thing I do? It's literally only an hour and a half out of my day. I have the rest of the day. I'm going to do other things. I'm going to have a business. I'm going to do something else. Like, there's no point to just trade. There's more money to be made in other aspects that are outside of trading. Like, there's this misconception of like the lifestyle of, oh, trade and then go relax on a beach. Like, that's not what life is about. You may think that that's what you want, but trust me when I say this, a week of doing that, you're going to be like, this sucks. This is boring. Because you as a human being, you need challenges. You need something to get you, like, you need goals. Like, I have a business. Man, my goal is by the end of the year to reach this amount. My goal is social media. My goal is to get this much followers. My goal is to do this. My goal is to push a video out every, like, have something you're striving. Have goals for yourself. Don't just be a person that's just like, you know. New follow, love how you break things down. 7 years profitable myself. Nice. Yeah, so if you've been 7 years profitable, you can attest that what I'm saying is like, what I'm saying is true. This is something I've been through. This is something that every trader goes through. It's like, trading is not easy at all. So I don't want people to have like a wrong misconception, but it is doable. It is doable, and you know, you have to love to do it. It's a type of thing where you have to love to do it, or else you're not going to get good at it. I'm in sales and I do trading. It's literally a cheat code. Yeah, it is a cheat code when you have the right psychology and you have rules for yourself and you treat it like a business, because trading is a business, right? And you do it as a side thing. It is like a cheat code. Because the fact that I can come into the market, even let's just say even if I only make $200, if I can come into the market and I can work for like an hour and it can make $200 and walk away, that's literally a cheat code. It's like printing money out of nowhere. It's like getting money out of thin air. Obviously, you had to put in the work to do it, so it's not like you're just like randomly just making money. Like, the people that can do this are the people who have put in years and years of hard work and years of discipline and learning, and it's a grind. It's not something that, like, you know, you just kind of like pull out of nowhere. But it's very rewarding. It feels good. And the other thing is, it gives like, because you could see like the potential in trading, like literally the sky is your limit. Like, there are people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a day in trading. So, not every day, but days. So, when you have that kind of potential that you can reach, I mean, it's cool. But, you know, there's levels to it. And that's the cool part. Like, I personally, I don't expect to be making, you know, I don't expect to be making $10,000 days in the next, like, year, right? I understand, hopefully, you know, maybe God willing, if I can get to that point, maybe, like, 5 years down the road, I can get to a point where I'm making, you know, $10,000 days. Maybe, you know, 5 years down the road. I don't have wrong expectations thinking that I'm going to get to that level in a matter. Like, I know of people that, you know, that trade, that make $20,000, $30,000 days. They make $20,000, $30,000 days. But guess what? Guess how long they've been trading for? 11, 12 years. So it's, you know, I've been trading for 3 years. So I can't even think of comparing myself to their level. I'm where I am in my time, right? 3 years of trading, I am where I am. Now, 5 years, couple more years of trading, I'm going to look back to today and I'm going to be like, you know, I'm a way better trader today than I was 2 years ago. And, you know, the cycle keeps going. Do you have a Discord? Like, no, that's the thing about me. I have no Discord to sell you. I don't have a Discord. I don't have... the only thing I mean, I don't really... I have a YouTube, but I don't really make videos in a long... Like, I go live on there too, but I don't really make videos or anything. I gotta start, like, doing more. But, yeah, I don't have anything to sell. I mean, I'll try to go live every day on TikTok. I just go live for free. But... other than like TikTok and YouTube, I don't really have anything else. I gotta start like, you know, posting more things, making more content. I just been so busy that it's hard. It's freaking hard. People think making content's easy, like making a video and like editing it. It's difficult. It's not easy. So. But yeah, you can ask me here if you know, I'm usually, most of the time, if I'm trading, I'm live, so. But yeah, so I typically, I'll come on at 9:30 till about 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is when I'll end off, so. We are coming, we just been chopping ever since what? We got that ever since 10 o'clock. We just could not push through 10 o'clock and we just been chopping for the whole hour. Stuck sideways. And that's why I said in the beginning, I'm like, you got to think about it. Do you think some institution is going to be buying crazy size right now? Probably not. So, kind of expected. But, all right. Think that I'm going to call it because it's 11 o'clock. I've made what I wanted to make for today, so good time to walk away. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back on Monday, so if you want to stop by, I'll be here on Monday. Other than that, yeah, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out.